check. It's unreleased right here. This one was released. Pardon. This one is unreleased. I made this on the scene. You can go check in my back catalog. I got about 2,500 videos in the past 3-4 years, and most of the music I made live, so check out all them videos. Each one's probably 20 minutes to a half hour long, something like that. Yeah, we're working over here, man. Some people think working is getting a shovel and going and digging a ditch somewhere, but they're the people that were born probably about 40 years before the millennium. Okay. I'm gonna come off the top. Come up the top. Pause. I'm gonna come up the top. And I'm done with the block. And I'm done with the block. I'm done with the block. I'm running from cops. I'm 40 years old. It's time to quit. Even though I'm designed for this, I promise this. I'll never come snitch. Never would, never could, never did, never would. Do my big, yeah, I could. If I gotta do one, I'm trying to catch it back. But anyway, let's get into the show, man. Alright, this song I want to read off real quick. It's an unbelievable beat, so listen, the purpose of this show isn't to be funny, though some stories and segments may be for a little comedy rescue. I'm sorry. When the conversation is too deep and we just need a shifting. Let me start all over. It's live, it's improv. The purpose of this show isn't to be funny, though some stories and segments may be for comedy rescue when the conversation is too deep and we need to shift the energy. The purpose of this show is humility, empathy, and persistence, and what having them 3 things in your life can do to create a totally different you. What you sometimes don't know is when you crack jokes on addicts and the homeless while you're driving with your coworker, well, your coworker is now ashamed to tell you this part of his life story, that he has 2 years clean of drugs and alcohol, and fentanyl was his choice. He won't tell you how the guy you laughed at crossing the street with one leg is somebody he actually knows very well. He was actually there when the guy did the bags that eventually took them limbs from him. Listen, he won't tell you how he was lucky and he got locked up, so they made sure his arm was treated in time, not have his amputated. He ain't gonna tell you them stories now. And every time you go outside and you see your neighbor, John, the police officer, you think, oh, I'm gonna get on this good side, I'm gonna talk about the punks in the corner. And you start talking down on the street punks. But I bet you ain't know Johnny has 2 sons, twins. They're 19 and haven't talked to Johnny in 2 years. I say that because Johnny's 2 boys are a football throw away, standing on the corner right now. You know, that street corner. And Johnny's gonna smash you one day when he gets tired of your downgrading, of your humiliating, of your fill in the blank. You never know who somebody is. And with that said, now I go by these rules that were I don't know who created them, but that's for another episode. So when you do time and stuff like that, I've been doing time since I was 15, but I haven't did time in 20 years. A little bit less than 20 years, but you get the point. Now, when you do time as a straight male, you're told straight up, like, if a homosexual comes to your cell and you don't make them leave, then yeah, there's a problem. It's gonna be a problem with the black. Probably both of you are gonna have to leave now. So that always been a thing. So usually homosexuals don't even come on the prison block because they already know like that's gonna happen, and they just don't even want to cause that scene. So I was on probation at one point, and I had to go away to get off of Xanax, benzo. And at first you go through the detox part of the program I was in, and then you go to the rehab part. So we're still all in the detox part. Me and a couple of dudes that I met in there, it was alright. They was a little bit cool, you know what I mean? We all had cigarettes and they wasn't bumming, so I rode out with them. Long story short, it was some dude in there who was probably about 6'4", 260, big boy. He had scars all on his face, always wore sunglasses. Weird dude. I mean, that's all I thought. Like, he was a weird gay dude. So dude was always freeballing. For those that don't know what that is, that's he wasn't wearing no underwear all the time. So every time he got up, he'd pull his pants up and you'd see the crack of his head. And like, I thought he was doing it trying to catch. But as we get onto the story, you'll see what it was. So I'm like, dang, that's inappropriate. So, and like I said, he always got the shades on. Like, he goes in the bed with them on, then takes them off. But so you never see his eyes. So people like that, it's like, why don't you want anybody to read you? So I make a joke one day at breakfast to all my fellow detoxers, the people that was still in detox with me. We was eating breakfast, and I was like, yo, what if they put you in a room with main man? Thinking, because, you know, we all had been booked before, and then we all know the code of being booked. Like, if you're in a cell with a homosexual, it's not gonna look good as a straight man. So, you know, I'm playing around. We start joking, laughing on it or whatever. 2 days later, it's time for me to step up and go to rehab, the rehab section. I go over, look at the paper, see my room number and all that. Yo, who's in room number such and such? I think it's Big Boy. Stop playing with me, man. Yo, motherfuckers always playing with somebody. No, serious. I think it's Big Boy's room. Nah, man. Nah. Something gotta give. Now, I'm in no way, shape, or form homophobic or any of that. But I'm thinking like, it's people that just came home. I'm on probation. That's why I'm here. You know, it's a lot of people here for different reasons. But for those that don't know, Xanax is one of the few drugs you can actually die when you detox off of. So it was true they put me in the room with dude, but I didn't want to be all crazy, pardon me, and make an issue about it and make it look like I was on some like homophobic shit. So I say fuck it, I rock it. You know what I mean? Cause I asked my roommate that I was in detox with about it, and I think he might have been a little bit, and he was offended. He was like, why wouldn't you go in the room with him? Like, what do you mean? Like, he didn't get it. I guess he never been booked before, or like I said, he was one of them. So I'm like, you're right, bro. You're right. Like, I'm looking down on this boy already. You're right. So I'm like, damn, but he be free balling all the time and shit. I'm gonna have to go in here. And the way it's set up, like, me and him had to share a bathroom and shit. Like, it was crazy. But I mean, when I got in there that night, I think I took my sleeping medicine and tried to pass out real quick. And the next day, the little area we were at or whatever, it was freezing out, and it didn't have no hot water. I'm trying to jump in the shower. I had it all set up like in the morning. I'm jumping ain't no hot water. Dang. Up over here. So I'm already mad, you know what I mean? Or wants to use the bathroom with, back and forth, everything's casual, he's free balling still. And I come to him and I put 2 pairs of underwear on his bed. And you know what the crazy thing was? He said, thanks, bro. I don't have family like that. So nobody was able to come bring me up any clothes. And when I came here, I was in hospital clothes. So I'm thinking, damn, like, it wasn't that he was free ball trying to catch. This boy was in here and he ain't have no drugs. Like, it might sound funny now, but it's like, damn, I was judging him off that, and he didn't have no drugs. I'm judging him off wearing the same outfit. He ain't had no clothes. So I give him some stuff, and he's bigger than I am, so it was real tight on him, but he was still so appreciative and still wore it, even though it was like kind of tight on him. And he was just so appreciative. And so come to find out, the scars on his face, he was at the club in Orlando, probably about 15 years ago. It was a gay club, and they shot it up. And I know a lot of people had gotten unalived in that situation. A lot of people survived. But he proceeded to tell me he got the scars because he was there that night and he lost his fiance. So I'm like, dang, God is throwing me curveball after curveball. Like, first I ain't want to be in the room with him. And he snores like a grizzly bear. But I knew everybody was going to think that was an excuse. I ain't want nobody to think I was on no homophobic stuff, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I still got this jail mentality, and so do some of the other people in there. So they're like, hell no, ain't no way I'll be able to be in the room with Lord. And, you know, what I'm going to do? I already was wrong about 2 things that he put me in place about, but now I gotta focus on coming off these drugs, off these Xanax. So you can have seizures and you can't really sleep when you're coming off them. And remember, like the 3rd night in the room, I can't sleep for nothing. No. Tossing, turning. This boy was snoring like a grizzly. That wasn't the reason it was keeping me up, but I went over and started reading a little bit, and that's when I seen the sentence, comparing yourself to others is the biggest thief of your own joy, your own happiness. Saying, when you compare yourself to other people, say I found $20. That's a come up for me. But say my homie comes around 15 minutes later and he's like, yo, I just found 100 around the corner. Now, if I compare myself to him, my 20, I'm gonna be like, dang, I wish I'd have got that 100 now. My come up isn't appreciated as much. I'm not as grateful for this come up as I once was because I'm comparing myself to this person, and that kills your own happiness. And I'm reading and I feel like, you know, real anxious, and I've never had a season, so I didn't know what to expect if I did have one. But I felt like I was on the verge of something. I was just sitting on the bed and the grizzly bear woke up to go to the bathroom or something. And he was like, are you good, bro? I said, yeah, I'm good, bro. You know what I mean? I'm coming off these Xanax, you know. My fault if I'm keeping you up or whatever, but I ain't gonna be able to sleep. He was like, it's cool, bro, it ain't nothing. I'm like, yeah, bro, like I've never had a seizure before, so like I'm a little bit nervous about that. Bro, it was so dope. We wound up kicking it, and that's when he wound up telling me like in depth about the stories. And we wound up kicking it. It was probably like 2 in the morning at that point. I knew I wasn't going to sleep. And we wound up kicking it till 5, 6 in the morning. And he was like, bro, if you have a seizure, trust me, ain't nothing gonna happen. I'm here. And I'm like, dang. Like, I was judging this dude all the way around. And in hindsight, he shouldn't have cared anything about me. In hindsight, he probably heard me making fun of him when I was in detox. In hindsight, he probably heard me talking about him wearing no underwear with jeans on. He probably heard about me talking about him with the sunglasses on all the time in the back of the room. And with them scars on his face. What's up with him? Then I find out he don't have no family. And nobody can bring him clothes. That's why he ain't got no drawers. He's free balling. So I gave him 2 pair of drawers. I felt so bad. And like I said, he was bigger than I am, Paul. And I gave him clothes, and they were tight on him, but he was still so grateful. He wore them still tight as could be on. And he was letting everybody else know about that. Like, he don't have no clothes, but he don't know how to say it. And everybody's judging him off of it. And after that, I ain't with that bullying stuff, so when I seen people try bullying and all that, or talk some crazy, first of all, he'd probably trash a lot of the people that were trying to play him. But I wasn't with it no more. Like, I ain't on that type time. And they like, dang, you in the room with big boys? Yeah, dog, he cool, he alright, you know what I mean? I'm comfortable with mine. And I could tell that he respected that a lot. And people teased him, got on him so much in that when he left, he was getting his SSI check, and he was like, I'm just booking a flight to Seattle, Washington. I said, well, what you got folks out there or something? He was like, nah, they got good shelters out there. I gotta get from around here. It's too homophobic. But he said, I've been here for 2 months, and I've been fighting being a gay man in here, defending myself more than I've been fighting the drugs and alcohol. I respected him after that as a man. You know, he still had his ways about him that we wasn't best of friends and all that, but it made me think, because I was humiliated by the fact that everything I was judging him on, there was an answer for it. And the answer was deep and hit me. And now, almost 10, 15 years later, here I sit with no family in the same situation. Now it's time for me to get on my plane. Ride up on out of here. Take off. I guess what I'm trying to say is, some things is funny. Some things is funny when people aren't listening. But if you're making fun of somebody and they hear it, it's back to them somehow, it ain't so funny anymore. And if it is still funny to you, then you're very immature. I'll just say that. It's time to grow up. I know we're all gangsters. Everybody, we're from the hood. I know we all from the hood. We all gangsters. I know we'll all lay somebody down. I know. But for real, it's time to grow up. It's your boy M-i-Corleone Jr.
This one I learned that the police want to get famous too. They want to get clout. These guys came and picked me up in sweatsuits.
It's episode 1.
Walked out the precinct with a news.
HindSIGHT.
These niggas had their hair
What
done,
would you do?
tuxedos and shit showing it.
And
these niggas want
I need everybody
I was about to go to jail.
to
So my lawyer
think
at the
about
time was telling me,
in this whole situation, what would you have done
you know, I also
differently?
you like I ain't even touched this. I also know who danced.
Than I did.
So I'm just like, you know, so I'm minding my business.
I'm taking all rebuttals.
We hired a private investigator. Shout out to Don Florio, attorney at law.
So hit me on that email right in the description, and for next week's episode,
so when they went there,
I guess we're gonna have people either grinding me up or showing me love. But either way, I ain't humiliated by nothing. Ain't nothing that I ever did in my life that I can't tell everybody. See, I do these type of podcasts because when I'm gone from this earth, I don't want other people to have to tell my story. I want my nephews to be able to go right on YouTube and hear me tell my story. M-i-Corleone Jr. Everybody go to the website beacons.ai/ HindSIGHT 1 podcast. Once again, HindSIGHT 1 podcast. Episode 1 over. Close. Donate, subscribe, like.
Yeah, what you gonna do? You gonna go and tour with this project when you drop it?
Yeah,